Hi, everybody. I'm Ronnie.
Hi, and I'm Jenny, and
We are the Heart and Soul Sisters.
you got that right.
And today I want to talk a little bit about moving on because it doesn't show in the picture, but I am sitting in the middle of rubble as I'm packing up my house. The house when we moved to this area to New York 22 years ago, more than 22 years ago now. We bought
Yeah.
this house, and my intention was, I said this like out loud. I said, I want to get a house because we were leaving the military when we moved here, and we had moved around quite a bit. And I said, I want a house that's going to be our forever house. We're going to go there, and that's where we're going to live. We're going to raise our daughter, and I want to have a place that we can call home. And that was my conception of this place when we got it. And
Yeah.
and we've done a lot to it, right? It needed a lot of work and so forth, and got it to the point where it's beautiful. I love it. We feel
It's an
comfortable
amazing house. We love that house. We love coming to visit you there. It's been the place of so many happy memories for our family.
here. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. We've loved having people in the house, right? It's kind of made for that. It's got lots of spaces for kids to run around
Yeah.
and for grown-ups to be together. And we did for years. We did that. We hosted the neighbors here for parties, and the kids would be downstairs. We fixed up this downstairs here to be a party place for them, and there's a big living space upstairs for the adults. And it's been wonderful. We've really enjoyed it. But we just got to the point where we felt like, I'm ready to let go of it. And it's not that, it's too expensive to keep it. It's not that I don't like it anymore. It's not even really that it's too much work. Like it's not something that we're not able to keep up with, but I'm just ready for something different. And as we've been packing and, getting ready to go, I've just kind of been reflecting on that, how things can change, right? How
Mhm.
the expectations you have when you do something, your intention. I intended this to be my forever home. I was not going to leave it. And I really can change your mind.
Yeah.
I don't need this much space. I don't, and really, I mean, I can do the work. I just don't want to do it anymore. Our daughter and her family live, a good day's drive away, and we'd like to be able to make that drive more often and spend time with them. And so having less work to do and keeping and maintaining our household fuels that. So part of it is a value shift.
Hmm.
Um, it's also, we live out, in kind of in the country. We got woods behind us, and we're going to move to a place in the city where we can walk to things, something we've always wanted to do. And so that's exciting. That's a new adventure. And it feels good to embrace that, to have this inner sense of knowing that it's not that I'm not happy here in this
Hmm.
space, but I'm ready for something different. And
Hmm.
so a lot of times we make changes because we're not happy and we feel like we
Right.
have to do something. And sometimes we make changes because we're called to something different. And that's kind of what this is. I feel called to something different. And it's just very exciting. We've already got the keys to our new place, and we started to move a few things in ourselves before the movers come later this week. And it just is exciting. We walk through it and we go, this is where we're meant to be. It feels so good. It's it's
It's a new adventure.
it is. That's what I keep saying. It's our next adventure. It's a new adventure. We're excited about our next adventure. When I explain to people, that's what I say. It's an adventure. It's near places we like to go, and we want to be able to walk everywhere and enjoy that. And it's fun to recognize that you can always make a change, right? You can always
Mhm.
look for that next adventure, or kind of tap in and say, what is my soul calling me to do now? And you can make it happen. So moving
Yeah.
on is it can be hard sometimes, right? Particularly if it's not something that you choose, but it also
Yeah.
can be just really, really exciting.
Yeah. I'm excited for you.
Well, it kind of reminds me of when you moved from Nashville to Ontonagon. You had been in Nashville about as long as we've been here in this place,
Yeah,
and it was a very different
it was.
experience for you.
Yeah, and we were torn because we weren't unhappy in Nashville. We had just a wonderful network of friends. I had my choir. I call them my choir family. I still think of them that way because I sang with those people. They felt like, and they still feel like my brothers and sisters, and it was very hard to leave them. It was very hard to leave the people that I love so much and still miss all of them. But we had wanted a farm. We had talked about it. We had horses that we were boarding at a friend's farm that was an hour's drive from where we lived in Nashville, and it just kind of all started. It really started with me looking for a job to move closer to you. That's how it started.
Yes, that's true.
That was the plan.
Did
That was the
not
plan.
work out that way.
No. I ended up posting my CV, curriculum vitae, resume on a site that had 3 jobs listed within like 40 minutes of where you lived, and didn't hear a peep from anybody in New York. but
Bummer.
within but within several days, I don't think it was even a week, I had a recruiter call me, and that was, he said, "So what are you looking for? Why are you wanting to leave Nashville?" I said, "Well, it's not that I'm unhappy in Nashville, but the market there was saturated. And for buying a farm, land was crazy expensive. And even an hour to an hour and a half around Nashville, property was just getting crazy, and it's gotten crazier since we left. So, um, so anyway, from that conversation, within a few days, he came back and said, "I floated out your CV to some physicians I know that are looking for nurse practitioners, and I had 5 job offers. Phone interviews. The first one was in Ontonagon, and he didn't know how to pronounce the name because unless you live here, you don't know how to pronounce the name. It's an Indian name. And I said, "You mean Ontonagon, Michigan?" He said, "So you must know how to pronounce it. You have been there before?" I said, "I used to live there." So yeah, I did the phone interviews, and of course, you were the first one to say, "Oh, you've got to go to Ontonagon. Of course, it's a sign." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. That wasn't part of the plan, though." So, yeah. So it was a I think a meant to be thing, and of course, we found this just beautiful farm
It is
that
beautiful.
needed 19 tons of garbage hauled off of it to make it beautiful, but
You had the
we saw.
vision. You had the
Oh my
vision.
Yeah, we did. And the kids were really excited because it had this beautiful riding arena barn and smaller barn and that we call the goat barn. And it just is a beautiful spot. And we've certainly been very happy here with our children and our horses and menagerie that we've had through the years. Cows,
They
goats,
they
chickens.
have so loved having the animals in the space on the farm. Your kids have
Yeah,
been a real
yeah,
gift that you gave them.
yeah. So a lot of good memories. But we're in the same place where our children are grown, we're grandparents, and we're just kind of waiting to see when we retire, will we have the farm and just be here in the summer? Um, because we want to be closer to our grandchildren, of
Of
course.
course. Right. Who
Who
doesn't?
doesn't, right? If I'm not seeing my grandkids every week, it's not enough.
Right. Right.
So,
I hear you.
yes, yeah, you know how it feels. They grow so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, you just miss so much when you're like we are 9 hours away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it kind of depends on where our children land as to, we're in the same place you are now.
Hmm.
Probably maybe 6 years out. 6 years from now, when or 7, whenever Matt retires, is when we'll kind of reassess that. Just because I don't want to miss out. I feel like I worked so much and worked so many long hours, and I worked extra jobs, when I lived in Nashville, and I feel like I missed a lot of time with my children. I mean, we did the best we could, like everybody,
Right.
um, every parent. But I don't want to miss out on my grandchildren. I feel like I want to be more present, and that's what you're doing. This is a time of reassessment. What really matters to you?
Hmm.
Spending more time with your family,
Yeah.
and your beautiful baby James. That's what's important, right? I mean, I think
Absolutely.
when we reach the end of this existence, I don't think we look back on, "Oh, my house wasn't neat enough, or I didn't have the big enough house, or I
Big enough.
didn't have
Yeah. Right.
stuff to stick in that house, or I didn't." it's really the opportunities of sharing moments and creating beautiful memories with our loved ones and our our friends that matters most.
Yeah.
So
So speaking of loved ones, this baby
Josie,
wandering in and out. So you probably see my arms move. She just insisting she wants to be part of this. Say hello,
she wants
baby.
to be a part.
Who
She's
is so
so sweet.
pretty?
We
Yeah,
love our
her.
fur.
So so I guess I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to encourage people to listen to what their heart is saying, and maybe even though you're not unhappy, maybe it's calling you to something else that will be even more beautiful for you. And so listen to that, pursue it, give it a chance to be heard, is what I would say.
Yes,
You
I
never know
agree.
what beauty awaits you.
True.
Well, in the meantime, until you decide what your next move is going to be, we are wishing you so much love and so much light.
And many, many blessings.
Be well, everyone.
Bye bye.